For today's video, we'll be taking a look at a micro ATX case by Phanteks, the XT M3. Available in black or white, the XT M3 is a wallet-friendly dual-chamber micro ATX PC case offering. Let's see if it's any good. First things first, the packaging. Unsurprisingly, the case comes in a brown cardboard box that looks pretty run-of-the-mill with your usual product illustrations and descriptions on all sides. In terms of accessories, the XT M3 comes with an instruction manual, a RMA information leaflet, a bunch of cable ties, as well as a pack of screws that also includes a tool that allows you to use a Phillips head screwdriver to install and remove motherboard standoffs with ease. In case you're wondering, the said standoffs already come pre-installed on the motherboard tray of the case. That said, we do also get a L-shaped GPU support bracket like so. One thing that I really like about the manual is the fact that Phanteks has a diagram that illustrates pretty clearly how best to do cable management with this case. It'll definitely save end users some time with figuring out which opening is best for which cable when building their PCs. With that, here it is, the Phanteks XT M3 in the flesh. We've got the black version of the XT M3 for this review, and for those of you thinking of building a white-coloured micro ATX PC, Phanteks also has a white variant of the XT M3. That said, the case sports a compact dual-chamber design and is made of a combination of steel and ABS plastic with a tempered glass side panel. The XT M3 features a front panel that comprises a meshed section for airflow purposes, as well as a rectangular section to the right that comprises plastic slats for added visual interest. All in all, the case has a very clean and understated look without any fuss whatsoever. As can be seen, the case comes with a tempered glass side panel to showcase your RGB bling, and the other side panel is made of steel with ventilation openings right above where the power supply unit's cooling fan would be. Back to the front panel of the case, we get a single USB 3.2 Gen 2x2 Type-C port, a USB 3.0 Type-A port, as well as a 3.5mm headphone and microphone combo jack. Do note that the XT M3 does not come with a hard disk activity indicator light. The top panel of the XT M3 also has the same design language as the front panel, with a mesh section for airflow purposes and plastic slats to the side for aesthetic purposes. Eagle-eyed viewers might have noticed that there are also small ventilation openings on the said slats right above where the PC's power supply unit is. These slats serve as exhaust openings for the PSU's fan. Over on the bottom panel, we get a removable dust filter that covers the XT M3's triple 120mm fan openings. As can be seen, the case comes with 4 plastic feet with foam-like inserts. The rear of the case is a pretty standard affair. The expansion slot openings have covers that are reusable, and to get access to them, you'll have to pop off this plastic cover like so. Removing the panels of the XT M3 is a pretty straightforward affair, where first, you've got to remove the top panel that pops off easily. This then reveals the single screws that hold the side panels in place. Removing the front panel is a toolless affair like so. On a side note, if you're new to the ALK Tech channel, do consider subscribing so as to keep up to date with the latest product releases in the PC hardware world. With that, onto the interior, starting first with cooling features. the XT M3 doesn't come with any pre-installed fans. That aside, the front of the case comes with support for two 120mm fans. Do note that you can't mount a 240mm radiator on the front panel due to spatial constraints. Up top, we get ventilation openings that support up to 3 120mm fans or a 360mm AIO radiator with the dimensions on the screen. Moving to the bottom panel, as can be seen, we get openings for up to 3 120mm fans as well. Finally, over on the rear, Phanteks has also included a single opening that supports a 120mm fan. In terms of physical dimensions, the XT M3 is a pretty compact dual-chamber micro ATX PC case, where it has the dimensions that you see on the screen. For you folks intending to use an air cooler for your processor, do note that the case supports CPU coolers of heights no more than 175mm according to Phanteks specs sheet. I'd say most, if not all, tower coolers with 120mm or even 140mm fans should fit into this case with no issues. For your GPU, the XT M3 comes with support for graphics cards with lengths of up to 430mm. This figure is for when you do not have intake fans mounted on the front panel, so you'll need to factor your case fan's thickness into the equation. We've also got width clearance of up to 175mm, though to be on the safe side, I'd advise against using this case with range-topping graphics cards with very large coolers, such as premium RTX 4090 or RTX 5090 cards, as they tend to be pretty chunky and you'll likely struggle with getting the card in, especially if you've got fans installed on the bottom panel of the XT M3. One other thing worth mentioning is the fact that this case comes with support for motherboards with rear connectors, so micro ATX motherboards from say ASUS's BTF lineup or MSI's Project Zero lineup should be compatible with this case. Finally, in terms of power supply dimensions, Phanteks indicates that the XT M3 has 150mm of length clearance for a power supply, which is mounted in the other chamber of the PC case. Do note that you won't be able to install PSUs of lengths longer than 150mm due to the fixed size of the recess for the PSU, something to note when making your power supply purchase decision. For those of you intending to install 2.5-inch and 3.5-inch drives for your PC build with the XT M3, Phanteks has got you covered with a 2.5-inch drive bracket right here that, as can be seen, supports up to two 2.5-inch SSDs. And this is accompanied by a 3.5-inch drive bracket that supports a single 3.5-inch drive. The front panel connectors of the XT M3 are a pretty straightforward affair, where we get the usual front panel USB 3.0 Type A connector, a front panel USB 3.2 Gen 2x2 Type-C connector, as well as a front panel audio connector. Apart from these, we also get a 9-pin front panel connector for the power switch and power LED. I appreciate the fact that Phanteks has gone with a 9-pin connector rather than dual 2-pin standalone connectors, which can be more fiddly to hook up to your motherboard. With that, let's do a demo build to take the XT M3 for a spin. Getting the motherboard into the case was a pretty straightforward process, where the motherboard standoffs are already pre-installed on the motherboard tray. If need be, you can simply use the included motherboard standoff mounting tool to reposition the standoffs. Installing the power supply unit was a cinch too. Just make sure that you've got a PSU that's no more than 150mm in length and you're good to go. Moving things along, and with the demo build nearly completed, it's a good time to talk about cable management. I appreciate the fact that the XT M3 has a metal cover right here that obscures a space that's perfect for hiding excess power supply cables and whatnot, which does save some effort in cable management, especially if you're feeling kinda lazy. In spite of the fact that I didn't do much cable management for this demo build, I think it still looks pretty neat, all things considered. There's plenty of cable routing channels that help you get your respective cables to where they need to be, and if we look at the front, I must say that the demo build with this case is shaping up very nicely. And with that, here's a completed demo build with the XT M3, where I've also got 6 of Phanteks M25-120 G2 case fans installed. In terms of thermal performance, I did a quick performance benchmark with the XT M3's demo build, where you can see the specs of the said build on the screen. With F123's in-game benchmark, where I ran a 5-lap test for around 9 minutes in total, the Ryzen 7 7800X3D processor in the demo build achieved an average CPU temperature of around 56.8 degrees Celsius, while the GeForce RTX 5060 Ti 16G Gaming Trio OC by MSI achieved an average GPU temperature of 66.9 degrees Celsius. These results were achieved in a non-air conditioned room with an ambient temperature of around 30 degrees Celsius. Not a bad showing at all, I must say, considering that I had set the fan curve to the stock silent profile via the MSI Center app for the demo build. Do note that your thermal performance with the XT M3 will definitely vary, especially if you're using different hardware from the test build in this review. To sum up, I think the Phanteks XT M3 represents really great value for a dual-chamber micro ATX PC case, especially given its price, features, and build quality. At its price point of around 79 Singapore dollars from typical PC hardware retailers in Singapore, or around 69 US dollars from online retailers such as Newegg for you international viewers, you get a pretty well built case for the money that also performs well from a thermal perspective. To top things off, we've got a good amount of support for your cooling needs, a front panel USB 3.2 Gen 2x2 Type-C port, good build quality all around, and quality of life features such as a GPU support bracket and even the little things such as having an integrated connector for your front panel power switch and power LED so as to make building your PC less of a hassle. With that, thank you so much for watching, hit the like button and get subscribed if you've enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys around the next time.